welcome back students. In this video we are going to have an overview of alkali metals, that means group 1 elements. We'll see their general electronic configuration, what type of oxidation state they show, what is their ionization potential and metallic and non-metallic character. We'll study all these things in this video. Let's start. Electronic configuration of group 1 elements. The general electronic configuration for group 1 elements or alkali metals is NS1, and this is the way it is written. For lithium, we know the atomic number of lithium is actually 3, so the electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s1. For sodium it is 11, so it is the electronic configuration of neon, and then 3s1. In expanded form we can write it NS 1s2, 2s2, 2p6 and then 3s1. Similarly for potassium we can write it 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, then yes 3p6, 4s1. In case of this we can write it in 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s2, then 4s2, and then it would be 3d10, and then finally it would be 5s1. So in all the cases and so on, so we can see that in every case, in case of every element, the outermost, that means valence shell electronic configuration is NS1, where N represents the number of period or the number of shells. So this is the general electronic configuration for alkali metals group 1 elements. Next is atomic and ionic radii. As we have discussed, the atomic radii of alkali metals is largest in the respective period, because alkali metals are the group 1, they are present in an extreme left, and we know that the trend of atomic radii in periodic table is that it decreases from left to right along the period. That means the one which is present on extreme left would be of largest size, and it is so. That's why the alkali metals, that means group 1 elements, have largest size in their respective periods. And again we know the atomic radii increases down the group due to increase in number of shells, and this is the order. If we remove the hydrogen, hydrogen is actually not the alkali metal, but it resembles in its properties with group 1 element, so we put it here. And if we compare the trend, lithium is of smaller size, then size increases to sodium, then potassium, then rubidium, and then cesium. So down the group size increases. And what is the reason for this? Yes, on moving down the group, new shell is progressively added. Although the nuclear charges also increase down the group, but the effect of addition of new shells is more predominant due to increase in screening of the inner field shell on the valence s electrons, and hence the atomic size increases down the group. That means when we move down the group, we know number of shells increases, then there is a question, if number of shell is increasing, for here it is n2, here it was n is equal to 3, the shell has been increased, but at the same time the effect of nuclear charge is also increased, but the effect of increased nuclear charge is less and the effect of increased number of shells is more, because let's say here it was one orbital inside followed by another orbital, one electron here, and then we can see and it was NS1, one electron here, two electron here. But if we talk about this sodium, electronic configuration is, for sodium electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, then 3s1. So what is happening? There is first an s orbital with 2 electrons, and also another s electron orbital with 2 electrons, then a p orbital with 6 electrons, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then s. So what is happening, that first of all the size is increasing because of increasing shell, and the internal electrons are repelling the outer electrons. That means we can say that they are shielding the outermost shell from the nuclear force. That's why the effect of increased nuclear force is not so, first because of increased in size, and second because of the shielding effect of inner orbital electrons. So down the group, size increases due to increasing number of shells. Next is ionization energy or ionization enthalpy. We know these are metals, these have large size, so it's obvious their ionization energy is low. That means they easily release electrons. The first ionization energy of alkali metals are lowest as compared to the elements of the same of the elements in the other groups. The first ionization enthalpy is lowest. That means we can say, along if we talk about a particular period, so in a particular period the alkali metal or the metal which belongs to the first group will be of lowest ionization energy because of its large size. The ionization energy of alkali metal further decreases down the group. We know ionization energy highly depends on the size. The ionization energy of group 1 elements is low because of their large size, and we know the size is further increasing down the group, and that is why the ionization energy or ionization enthalpy further decreases down the group. Again, there is the reason the size of alkali metals is large in their respective period, so the outermost electron experiences less force of attraction from the nucleus and hence can easily be removed. The value of ionization energy decreases down the group because the size of metal increases due to addition of new shell along with increase in magnitude of screening effect. That means we know that why the ionization energy of alkali metal is minimum, because of its larger size in the particular period. Further, we move down the group, size increases first because of increase in number of shell, and second because of screening of the outer electrons from the nuclear charge by the inner electrons, and these two increase in number of shells and increased screening effect further increases the size, because of which the ionization energy increases further down the group. Next is oxidation state. We know all the alkali metals are monovalent. They have only one electron in their valence shell. The valency is 1, and they have tendency to lose electrons. So the most common oxidation state shown by alkali metals is +1. They release the one and only electron present in valence shell to get noble gas electronic configuration, and they get +1 charge. So the oxidation state is +1, and this is the way they do so. Let's say we have lithium. There is only one electron in the valence shell, so it will easily release that electron to form lithium positive, and one electron is released. Same is the situation with sodium. Sodium can also easily release the one and only electron present in the valence shell to form sodium positive ion. Again, the reason is due to low ionization energy and larger size, the alkali metals can easily lose their valence electrons and gain stable noble gas configuration. How noble gas configuration? So let's have a look at this. We know that electronic configuration of sodium was 1s2, 2s1. If it removes one, it releases one electron, it would become 1s2 only, which is the electronic configuration of actually helium. So after removing one electron, they get a stable electronic configuration, a noble gas electronic configuration, and that's why they release that easily. But the alkali metals cannot form ions as the magnitude of second, cannot form two positive ions actually. They cannot form two positive ions as the magnitude of second ionization energy is very high. Why? Okay, if we want to remove two electrons from the let's say lithium, it is very difficult because after the removal of first electron, it is very easy to remove the first electron because of larger size. But as the one electron is released, we get Li positive, and which has a very stable electronic configuration of 1s2, which is electronic configuration of helium. It is a noble gas electronic configuration, so it is very stable, and because of this stability it is very difficult to remove an electron from here. So they can easily, the alkali metals can easily form +1 ions, but it is very difficult to remove another ion. That means they do not form +2 ion, because after removing one electron they get noble gas electronic configuration, and also the effect of nuclear force gets increased because cations have smaller size as compared to atoms. Next is reducing properties. Actually, we know that metals, alkali elements can easily release electrons. That means they easily get oxidized. That means they are reducing agent, and they are very good reducing agent. The alkali metals have very low value of reduction potential. Low value means greater the negative value of reduction potential, more stronger would be the reducing agent. So because of their low value of reduction potential, they have strong tendency to lose electrons and act as good reducing agent. And this reducing character increases down the group from sodium to cesium. However, lithium is the strongest reducing agent. Lithium is the strongest reducing agent. If we ignore lithium, then the trend is that it would increase from sodium to cesium. Lithium is the strongest one, then the reducing property decreases up to sodium, and further it increases. We'll discuss why there is so anomalous property of lithium in coming slides, but here we can see that lithium is the strongest reducing agent. It's very high, and after that this reducing character increases from sodium to cesium down the group. This is because the size increases down the group. As the size increases, it becomes more and more easy for the element to release electron. That means it is more easy for that to get oxidized, and that's why it is a good reducing agent. So this reducing property increases down the group from sodium to cesium. Now the reason again here, the alkali metals have low value of ionization energy, which decreases down the group, and this ionization energy is very obviously related to the size, and so they can easily lose their valence electron, and thus they act as good reducing agents. Next is melting and boiling points. We know the alkali metals are soft because of their large size. They are soft. They are so soft that some of them can be cut by a knife. So melting and boiling points of alkali metals is very low because of the intermetallic bonds formed are quite weak. They do not form very strong metallic bond, they form ionic bond actually. And this, whatever metallic bonding is there, it also decreases with increase in atomic number. That means they become more and more soft as we move down the group, and because of which their melting and boiling point also decreases down the group. Next is density. The density of alkali metals is very low as compared to the other metals of the same period or other elements. So density of alkali metals is very low. It is so low that lithium, sodium and potassium are even lighter than water, and that's why they float over water. So this is the trend actually. Lithium, then sodium, and then potassium is slightly more dense. It is less dense, then followed by rubidium and cesium. And the reason is due to their large size, the atoms of alkali metals are less closely packed. Consequently, they have low density, and on going down the group, the density increases from lithium to cesium. Potassium is however lighter than sodium, due to an unusual increase in atomic size of potassium. Okay, so they are very low in density, and this density increases down the group, as you can see from this plot. Next is nature of bond formation. These are metals, so the first possibility is that these will form metallic bonds, but these metallic bonds are actually very weak in case of alkali metals. They predominantly form ionic bonding. Like you must have seen, must have observed sodium chloride, or similarly potassium chloride. So these all are salts, that means these are ionic compounds, and this is actually that alkali metals prefer to form ionic bond. They form ionic compounds with non-metals, and this ionic character increases from lithium to cesium because the alkali metals have low value of ionization potential. They can easily release an electron which can easily be accepted by a non-metal like halogen, and that's why most of the compounds are, yes, ionic or electrovalent, which decreases, and this ionization energy decreases down the group, and hence the tendency to give electron increases to form electropositive ions. It is observed that when light falls on the surface of alkali metals except lithium, electrons come out from the surface, which can be used in a circuit for current, in the form of current, electric current. So this effect in which electrons come out from the surface of a metal when light of a particular frequency falls on the surface of metal is known as photoelectric effect. So alkali metals except lithium exhibit photoelectric effect, which is a phenomena of emission of electrons from the surface of metal when light falls on them. And this is because the ionization energy of alkali metals is so low that the electron gets enough energy from the sunlight only, and it comes out from the surface. So what is the reason? The reason is the ability to exhibit photoelectric effect is due to low value of ionization energy of alkali metals, and that is why these are used in solar cells also. But as I told, lithium does not show photoelectric effect. It does not emit photoelectrons because of its high value of ionization energy, because lithium is the first element, it is of smallest size, so comparatively its ionization energy is high, so it does not show photoelectric effect. Next is flame coloration. As we have just discussed, that S block elements and also alkali metals impart a specific characteristic color to the flame. And this is so that lithium gives crimson red color, sodium gives golden yellow color, potassium pale violet, rubidium violet, cesium sky blue color. And why? That on heating alkali metals or its salt, the electrons present in the metal or ions are excited to the higher energy level, and they absorb some energy. They are excited to the higher energy level because they absorb some energy due to heat. And when these electrons return to their original ground state, they emit the extra energy which were absorbed by them, and these energies come out from the atom in form of electromagnetic radiations which fall in visible region, and because of which they appear in the form of color, light, and that is why they impart characteristic color to the flame. You can see here that this one is violet color for potassium, this one is sky blue color for cesium, this is yellow, golden yellow color of sodium, this one is crimson red color, which is for lithium. Now this is seems to be a brick red color, which is actually shown by an alkaline earth metal, calcium, and this is shown by barium, which is another alkaline earth metal. So there are some solved problems which were asked in IIT JEE once, and the first one says that potassium ordinarily does not show oxidation state of +2. We know that alkali metals do not show +2 oxidation state, and so is sodium. Sodium has 11 electrons, so the electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1. After removal of one electron, if you want to remove another electron, that electron must be removed from this fully filled, highly stable 2p6 orbital, which require large amount of energy. It is so large that it does not form a +2 ion, and the second electron is not removed ordinarily. So the reason is sodium ordinarily generally do not show the oxidation state of +2 because of its high second ionization potential. Next is, which of the following is a false statement? The first statement is the electropositive character of alkali metals decreases with increase in atomic number, which is actually incorrect. We know all the alkali metals are electropositive due to their large size, they easily release electron, and the size further increases down the group. That means the electropositivity further increases down the group, it does not decreases. So the incorrect option is yes, A. So here it is the correct option. So students, now we are aware of alkali metals. We know that what is their oxidation state, what kind of bond they form, and we know that they are soft metals with low density, and also they are highly reactive. In next video, we are going to study about anomalous property of lithium, the first member of alkali metal group.